acceleration is great. Alright guys, today we're going to be taking a look at the 2023 BMW 330i. So we do have an M Sport package plus the essential package of the 330i here. We now have the new curved display screen with the iDrive 8. Not many physical buttons, no more shifter knob here. Beautiful M Sport steering wheel. Before we hop out and get onto the road, let's walk outside and take a look at this vehicle. So this is the black sapphire metallic of the 791 bicolor M Sport wheels. Did not have the upgraded M Sport brakes. We have the black kidney grille also added to the front. The new facelifted LED headlights, new curved halo design. This is the M Sport front bumper. So this is the LCI for 2023. All blacked out, looks actually very good. Surprised we didn't actually get the black wheels on this unit. At the back we have a very aggressive M Sport rear diffuser. The two tailpipes are blacked out as well. I mean the tailpipes, the taillights didn't change from last year. Overall, this is a great mid-size sports sedan. Given that trunk area. Take a look at the back seat. This is the black Santatech interior for it. You can see here we got a rear climate control with two USB-C ports. Got my M backpack there with all my filming equipment. Take a look at the interior seats for this unit. Comfortable M Sport seats. All right, let's get out and get onto the road. Now comparing with last year's 2022 model, we got the whole new iDrive screen. Instead of two separate screens, we have the curved display screen, massive infotainment display, and then we also are missing the shifter, and we just have this toggle. So when we're looking to go into gear, we just press down just like that. Press all the way forward for reverse, do a half click for neutral. Once you're in sport or in drive, you can then go down into sport, and then you'll see here we got S1 over here, and then if you go the paddle shifters from there, you'll go into manual mode. Lights up green over here. Before, with the transmission, you used to be able to push the transmission into left for sport and then go up and down, but now when you want to change the gears, the only way to do that is through the paddles on the steering wheel. Now we're just going to put it into normal drive, and then at the end, park is now this button right here. And we have the auto hold brake and the parking brake. iDrive controller, engine start stop is right here. We also have this flap cover for the cup holders. Wireless device charging pad is in there, and then just above here we have radio controls, max heating for front and rear, and then the hazard buttons in the center there. We'll get a little bit into the iDrive system in a little bit, but for now let's start the drive. Let's get on the road. We are starting off in comfort mode. Every time you start up the vehicle, you're going to be in comfort mode. Now, one thing that I find interesting is when you're in comfort mode, your gauge cluster could be customized quite a bit. So your gauge cluster, if you click this button on the steering wheel, click that. Now, you look into the dashboard and there's a layout button. So click over, and now you have a layout. So this is one of the layouts, very simple. Your RPMs are in that bar on the left side. Your speed is a number, not a gauge cluster. And then you can choose the content in the center. Right now I have it as the map, and we'll go back over first. We'll show you the content. You can change it. You can have it like directions. The map is probably the most useful. There's also the G-force meter, like not very useful at all. You can tell what your music is. One thing with iDrive 7 that I liked is you can have your map and your music. Now it's one or the other. Or you could just have nothing. You can have the number right in the center there. So most people, you're probably gonna have the map layout so you can kind of see the roads around you. The layout changes basically the gauge cluster design. So now you can see this is our normal design. Speed is on the left, there's the gauge and the number, and RPMs are on the right. One thing that I find interesting is when you have the M Sport, there's so many tricolors for the M. Like there's one here, and here. You go back down the other layout, it's still there on the left. And then the very top one is kind of like the sport gauges. So they get closer, they get tighter in, they're more in your view, you get to see less map. So you can only customize these options when you're in comfort mode. When you're not in comfort mode, it doesn't give you the option. So let's say we go into eco mode. So this is going to be the eco mode gauge cluster. You can see it's all blue now. We still have the tricolors at the top. Everything's the same, it's just blue instead of being that beige color. Now if you go into sport, now we go red. Sport always changes up here. You can configure your sport settings. So say you want transmission in sport, but like the steering, you don't want your steering to get stiffer. We want the steering to stay in comfort. So you can customize your sport. And then that way, if you go from comfort, then you come back into sport, and then you click sport again, you go sport individual. So now when you go comfort, come back into sport, it'll be in sport or sport individual. So that's what you can do for sport. That's how I like to customize it. Your Eco Pro can also be configured. And you can set like your heated seats, your climate control, coasting. You can set all of the items for Eco Pro. So those are your gauge cluster looks. This is how you're going to be able to view on your iDrive 8 screen. And then you have the actual infotainment system. So this is the main menu. You can control the widgets that you see here. You can add widgets, you can take away the widgets, you can customize where these widgets are, like along the lineup. And then like say you have map here, if you don't want the map, you can move that. Looks like you can only do it when you're parked though. So certain things restrict you while you are driving. And then let's see, if you come over to the left, you have navigation at the bottom, your telephone, and then your music. And then the next one up is your menu. So one thing I do like about iDrive 8 is the simplicity of the menu. It's more app rated. Just back up here. Let that guy go through. Not even a thank you, or maybe a half a thank you there. Okay, so let's go back to where we were in the menu. So with the menu, you can go through two ways. There's infotainment apps and there's vehicle apps, or you can just see all the apps. Or you can go to the infotainment app. So the infotainment's like Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, your FM radio, your telephone, your messages, my phone if I wanted to listen to the like my podcast or music or something, and then your apps. So these are your vehicle apps. So like your BMW ID, when you log in, you go in there. So before iDrive 7 was like, okay, you click car and then you have sub menus all along the bottom. This makes it more like your iPhone, so it's easier to use. Oh, okay, we're just gonna park in a no parking zone. Sure. Actually, I think he was allowed to park here at that time. And then mobile devices, your personal assistant, your live vehicle, so you can see your vehicle information like horsepower and the coolant temp, and look, you can even see your turbo PSI. So this is actually adaptive content that you'll see in sport mode. You go to comfort, we go to live vehicle, your adaptive content, it changes. You go into eco mode, and it changes. So you only see this when you're in sport mode. That's pretty cool. So the sport gauges are like more enhanced from last. And then we go back to vehicle apps, system settings. Let's go into system settings here. So time, English, everything like that is all going to be in your system settings with updates. Interior lighting. So one thing I love is the new ambient lighting colors. You have way more ambient lighting colors than with the older BMWs. Look at how many different tones, different shades. You have like 3 different shades of blue. You now have green. So you see all the ambient lighting change here. It's also on the door panel here, also on the floor area. It's not dark, so you can't see it as much. You can adjust the brightness for it, and you can also reduce it for night driving. There's also an owner's manual. And then there is the controversial climate menu. Now, while this screen is fast reacting, that's better. One thing I think BMW could have done better is you could have left your infotainment or your climate control bars right here with physical buttons. So say you want to activate your heated seats. With the old system, boom, click, heated seats are on. Now, heated seats, you got to click climate menu, and then you got to click up. Now you're going up. Before you turn your heated seats, it was on full blast and you turned it down. Now you got to turn it up all the way the very first time. Now overall, the rest of the climate menu is not too bad. Like it could be a little bit better. It's automatic programming. Everything is pretty much the same. I mean, like once you set your temperature, like me personally, in the last car, like I set the temperature and I let the fan do the automatic speed and I let it choose where to go, and I was always just comfortable. So I think they're going with that, where like you don't really need to adjust the fan speed and anything anymore. You just need to do the temperature, and you can always do the temperature at the very bottom. And if you do turn on the heated seats, like it tells you that the heated seats are on right there. So I would say the climate menu is probably one drawback. I wish it was still right here, but it's not too terrible being up there. The only thing too is like with iDrive 8, a couple things are like more redundant. Like right here is your traction control button. On your last car, you click this and you go into DTC mode, where like traction mode is what they call it now. Now you click the button and then it just brings up the menu in the iDrive, and you still have to click here. And if you want your traction control off, you have to click off. Before, you would press and hold and it would go away. So now like that just brings up another sub menu. And one thing that's missing here is the intelligent safety shortcut key. There used to be a key where you just click the circle with the green circle and it brings you into all your stuff for safety. So your pre-collision, your blind spot monitoring, all that stuff. Now you have to go into driving settings, driver's assistance, and then you can customize all of your safety and your warning. So your pre-collision, your lane departure warning, your steering intervention, you're pulling your steering wheel back. Now you can adjust all that. The chassis is one thing that now is the iconic sound. So you know when you're in sport mode and they pump in that exhaust noise in, we'll hear that in a little bit. That is all through this. Turn that off and you don't get as much exhaust noise pumped into the cabin. So previous BMWs couldn't turn that off, now you can. Same thing with the safety systems, like you can customize this more. Like you can turn off pre-collision, couldn't turn that off on the last system. You can lane departure warning, you could have turned off. Blind spot monitoring, you couldn't turn off, now you can. So now you can turn off certain warnings with the driving assistant. You have your exterior lighting, don't really need to do anything in there. Vehicle status. Yeah, I mean, I think we've been through everything. There's doors and windows, so comfort access. Best thing about this is it locks automatically when you walk towards it, walk away. You can get your digital key, which could be a key fob, or you can put this into your Apple Wallet, which is fantastic to have your iPhone be your key. To have your iPhone be your key fob, that's fantastic. Personal assistant, I feel like this is the only one that we haven't been into. Let's turn on the microphone, so if you say like hello BMW, it will pop up. Hello BMW, navigate me to Parkview BMW. Wow, it is snowing here in April. Okay, see what happened? I said Parkview BMW, I said navigate me, and it just brought up my contacts. I find the voice intelligent could be better. Like let's turn off my sound. Game of Thrones. I had the navigation earlier and it would not find me a location. Like I was trying to get 555 Eglinton West and it was sending me down to like Texas and stuff like that. So actually I want to turn everything back on there. Let's go navigate me to Parkview BMW. See how well it does here. It just takes me into my yeah, it's just taking me into my contacts. Like I want navigation, search, and if you try to type it in yourself, when you're driving, you can no longer do this input. You can no longer use the iDrive controller to enter in where you could on iDrive 7, but if you click right here, you can do this. You can physically type the screen. You have to lean forward and type the screen, but you can do that while you're driving. I mean, let's give this one more time. Navigate me to Parkview BMW.
Could you repeat that?
Could you repeat that? Navigate to Parkview BMW. Same thing. Can you navigate me?
Would you rather like to tell me the...
I would like you to navigate me to Parkview BMW.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand you again. Maybe these sample commands can...
Navigate to Parkview BMW. This is frustrating. This is very frustrating. The communication does not help me at all. I would rather just click nav and go through an actual search on it in order to do it. And now let's navigate me. That's frustrating. Another thing that's pretty cool though is your navigation is going to show up in your gauge cluster, and if you had head-up display, it would show up in head-up display as well. Now it's showing perspective. Last time I was driving, no, it was staying the same. Last time I was driving along Eglinton and it didn't change. So your main map only shows you this way, where the old iDrive 7 would be perspective and it'd follow you no matter where you're going. Seems like this one, it only goes north, and I can't seem to configure it any other way. But all right, we're in sport. We're in sport individual, we're in sport. Now we're doing 85. This is a 2-liter turbocharged engine, 255 horsepower, 295 pound-feet of torque. And let's just floor it. Kick down. Not bad. You know, I mean, you got all the torque that you really need. Now I want to see that iconic sound difference. Go back into the menu. We'll go back to driving settings. Let's change the iconic sound off. Okay, now we're going to do that same thing again. Yeah, I mean, it's not that big of a difference. The iconic sound, not that big. Now, let's change this. We're in sport, but then you can also take the toggle down. And now we're in sport too. So this is like sport for the transmission. It's just gonna be more aggressive on your transmission. The RPMs are gonna hold longer. It's gonna shift later. Keep you higher up in the RPMs. It's cool how the navigation shows you like, okay, this is exactly what lane you need to be in. Oh, this is not the lane we need to be in. No, we need to get back. I don't want to get off of Yorkdale. These seats are comfortable. I love these seats. This is such a great... What is this guy doing? What is this guy doing? The 330i is literally the perfect daily driver. Like, solid engine, enough power you need to pass anybody you want to pass, all-wheel drive for your weather, fast enough, fun enough, good brakes. Oh, this does not look fun. Oh, this is brutal. Might have to chop this next part out of the video, because I am going to be stuck in this traffic for a while. What's the map saying till I get back? Where's my destination? 12 minutes? 12 minutes it's saying. 11 minutes and 12 kilometers. We're gonna go a kilometer. We're gonna go a kilometer a minute. Ooh, that's gonna be brutal. Although, is real-time traffic info activated? Actually, I don't even think real-time traffic info is active on this car, because you have to log into your driver profile and map the car before you get real-time traffic info. It's an adjustment BMW made. Before I cut ahead of where we are here because of all this traffic and stuff, let's take a look at some other things inside the cabin here. So we have the air vents, opening, closing the air vents here. We have the sunroof control up here. So opening the sunroof, closing the sunroof. Oh, fading out of the lane there. And closing, once it's closed, that one more time will close the shade. Opening the shade. What else is there? On the steering wheel here, we got the paddle shifters, we got heated steering wheel on the inside, nice M button there. Volume controls, next song, going through the song choices or your playlist. Went through customization, we went through speaking. Now cruise control is on your left. Activate your cruise control is this button, and then your simple actives. If you have the bars here in these spots and you have the active stop and go cruise control, this car does not have that. We have the automatic brake hold. So it's holding the brake here. Such a beautiful feature. On the door, your central door locking is near your handle. Saving your memory seats is right here. All your window switch controls, these are the galvanic controls. You do have the automatic lights turned on, and your trunk release is down in the door panel down there. Inside the cup holder, or the glove box, we have one USB-C port. And inside the cup holder area, one USB port and the 12-volt converter. All right, So I'm stuck in traffic. This is not fun to watch. So I am going to cut the video right here and we'll snap ahead to where I don't have any traffic and we can actually drive the car. All right, past the accident, traffic is flowing now. Let's go. As you can see, we're in S5 right now. We're doing 115 and it's hovering in S5. It's an 8-speed transmission. Like this is normally, you know, if we're in comfort, we go to comfort. Like this is where the RPMs will stay. But you go into sport, jumps us up. You go into Sport Plus, jumps us up again. Ready and rating on the power. Try to accelerate, it's going to downshift. All the power you need. Such a good daily driver. Fuel efficient when you need it to be, but enough power to pass somebody when you want. Sounds nice too. You can see it's just holding fourth gear. We're at 4,500 RPMs and it's not shifting. It's waiting for you to get back on the gas. Now, if I put it into normal D mode, even in sport, like now we're at 2,000 RPM, I accelerate, and it's shifting. It's shifting. So that's where putting the transmission to sport is going to hold those RPMs for you. Braking is fantastic. Wish we could feel a bit more of the handling. All right, let's go. Oh man, acceleration is great. When do you ever need more acceleration than that? Just when? You really don't. You really don't need very much more than a 4-cylinder. Now, of course, you do want more. BMW does offer the M330i with the B58 6-cylinder. Okay, so I accidentally hit the BC cycle through button here, and it always goes back up to like this fuel efficiency gauge and like the total kilometers on the vehicle. And I'm waiting to see how long until it goes back. It doesn't seem to ever switch back. Like even if you cycle through, it just gives you like your current fuel and your average fuel. It doesn't go back. You have to click this button, then you have to go back down to content. That seems a little bit annoying. I'm gonna click it one more time. I'm gonna leave it for a bit. I'm gonna see if it ever goes back. Because if you click BC and it just brings you to this menu and doesn't go back to the other menu after a while, that's not very good. That's not a good feature. That's annoying. Man, those brakes. This isn't even in the M Sport brakes and they're so good. Not too touchy. When you push down, it stops. I don't know what else there is to explore on this iDrive menu that you guys haven't seen. I mean, this is making telephone calls. Music menu, we went through that. Yeah, there's not really anything on the infotainment that you guys haven't seen. I mean, the infotainment apps, Apple CarPlay, satellite radio, AM, there's not much there. Yeah, I feel like most of the time you're gonna be driving, you're just gonna be leaving it on this wide menu. How do I get rid of this? There was a little while ago where there was not showing anything. It was literally just the map. We got rid of, there we go. So just don't use it after a while and the menus will go away. That's a big map. That's a really big map. All right, we're gonna get off Lawrence here. Lawrence is some nice twistiness. We can get a feel for sport handling. Oh man, this car, so much fun. Man, on ramps and off ramps on this car is so much fun. There's not many cars that are better daily drivers than a 3 Series BMW. And even at the entry level of a 330i, it's still plenty of power. Just make sure you get the M Sport package. So you got the M Sport steering wheel, the exterior looks of the vehicle, and this is a car you can really enjoy.
What did it take after brief but brutal fights? They had been running empty, Victorian learned, making for Ilgis to load supplies and weapons for the Gascari legions encamped before Mirin, and bring fresh legionnaires to the war to replace all the men who died. Men slain in battle? Asked Victorian.
And we'll hit that for park. All right, guys, that concludes our POV drive of the brand new 2023 LCI 330i with an M Sport package. We're in the dark now, as you can see a lot more of the ambient lighting. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys appreciate this content. Make sure to smash the like button if you made it all the way to the end. Subscribe to the channel. Don't forget, this is my very first POV video for this channel. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video with a new car.